Today, we're going to talk about the life of a story. How information gets started, how it grows, and how it can totally change right in front of our eyes. Have you ever been scrolling your feed right after some big event happens, and you see one headline that says one thing, and then literally 5 minutes later, you see another one that says the complete opposite? Yeah, it's confusing, and it happens all the time. But there's a reason for it, and it's not always because someone's trying to mislead you.
And here's the key idea you've got to remember. Information isn't static. It has a life cycle. Seriously, think of it like a living thing that grows and changes as new details pop up and as more time goes by. It actually goes through some pretty distinct phases.
So it all starts with what we can call the first wave. This is what happens in the immediate moments and hours right after an event. In these first few minutes and hours, we just get flooded with raw, unfiltered details. We're talking about social media posts from people who were right there, or those breaking news alerts on your phone. The information comes at you incredibly fast, but, and this is a big but, it's almost always incomplete. It's not that anyone is hiding the truth, it's that the full picture, well, it just doesn't exist yet.
Okay, now let's fast forward a little. Once all that initial chaos starts to die down, the second wave of information begins to take shape, and this is where the story really starts to get some substance.
So, in the days and weeks that follow an event, we start seeing more developed and verified reporting. This is when your newspapers, your magazines, and established news sites start publishing their in-depth articles. Journalists have finally had some time to interview multiple people, to actually fact-check claims, and to start adding that all-important context. The basic what happened starts to get filled in with the how and the why.
A really great way to think about that first wave is to see it as a snapshot. It perfectly captures a single, intense moment in time, but it doesn't show you anything that happened before or what's about to come next. It's just one frame in a much, much bigger story. On the other hand, the later information, that's more like the entire photo album, or maybe even the full documentary. It starts connecting the dots, showing you the relationships between events, and it builds a way more comprehensive and, frankly, reliable picture of what went down. And this really gets at the fundamental trade-off, right? Early info is all about speed over accuracy. It's quick, it's raw, it's preliminary. Later info does the complete opposite. It goes for accuracy over speed, giving us something that's been analyzed and properly contextualized. And look, neither one is bad. They just have totally different jobs to do at different moments.
But wait, the story's life isn't over yet. There is a final, really crucial phase that gives us the deepest level of understanding, and that's the long view.
Months, sometimes even years later, we finally reach the peak of the information cycle. This is the world of scholarly journals, academic books, and those deep dive documentaries. Here, experts have had all the time they need to do massive amounts of research, to analyze all the data, and to place the event in its bigger historical or social context. This is where you're going to find the absolute highest level of credibility. So, this whole journey has a name. It's called the information cycle. It's basically the process where information is born, shared, checked out, and updated over time. And just understanding that this cycle exists is the key to becoming a much smarter consumer of news and media. Okay, so that's all great in theory, but how can we actually use this idea in our daily lives? Well, here's a simple little toolkit you can pull out to check any piece of information you see. It really just comes down to asking 4 questions. First, what's the source type? Are you looking at a tweet or are you reading a book? Big difference. Next, think about the timeliness. Was this thing published minutes after the event or months later? Then check the level of review. Has it been fact-checked by editors or is it just a raw, unfiltered opinion? And finally, try to understand its purpose. Is it just trying to inform you or is it trying to persuade you of something? Or maybe just entertain you?
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Assessing information isn't just about what's being said, but also about where that information stands in the bigger cycle. That context, that timing, it's like a superpower for seeing things clearly. So if you take away one thing, let it be this. When you see a piece of info, you aren't just seeing a fact in isolation. You're seeing a story at one specific point in its journey. And remember, the first draft of history is almost never the final one. Knowing that helps you have the patience to wait for the full picture. So from now on, the next time a huge story breaks and you see that first frantic all-caps headline, just take a breath and ask yourself one simple question. Where is this story in its life cycle? Just asking that question, well, it can change everything.